can take screenshots also. So now, good evening to one and all. Now we are going to discuss today about how to prepare MBA project documentation, because I saw so many, and not only these batch students, and there are different MBA students, they are struggling to prepare this. So I thought, why not we can give by spending some time. So now we will discuss one by one. Now, in this presentation, what we are going to discuss, we know general information, how many chapters you have to prepare, and annexes, bibliography, all this information, whatever you are mentioned here, all this information you need to mandatory, you need to fulfill in the document. And some special note will be mentioned here. Now you are seeing that note. You have to use Times New Roman, heading 14 size, bold. Content running matter you can use 12 in size. Same, Times New Roman. Line spacing 1.5. Left margin 1.5, right margin 1. This is once you set for your documentation, no need to do again and again. Only you need to do after writing entire document, you just headings you can make it 14. You make it bold, and running matter anyway you can be mentioned as 12, non-bold. Side heading 12 only, but you have to make the bold. So this is the just guidelines and instructions for you. Now we are jumping into chapter 1, what we have to mention exactly related to your project. All this we'll discuss one by one. Now we are going to discuss about, first you need to keep abstract. Already we said abstract, generally we need to write after completing your entire project documentation, but we are keeping this abstract front of the, before the starting of the documentation work. But abstract will contains entire your work into a small 150 to 250 words. What it should contain, I mentioned here step by step. It should contains the first, whatever the background or a topic introduction. 1 or 2 lines you have to explain the about the project, what it is about. So an abstract, it will be a 150 to 250 line. In that first, what you have to cover, just you need to cover the background or topic introduction, 1 or 2 lines explaining what the project is about. That you have to write it first. Now you think that abstract is not possible, first means entire document, after that only you write the abstract, there is no problem. If you have a knowing entire what is your project, everything you know, then you can frame the abstract, it's not a problem. Now second point, after two to 3 lines over, next second point, you need to write problem statement or a purpose, why the study was conducted. So here you need to understand why you are studying about this project, what you want to, what problem you want to solve, or what you are going to identify, what you are going to find out. That you need to mention in the next line. After 2 to 3 lines intro is over, then you have to mention the purpose and the problem. You have to mention 1 or 2 lines based on your content. Now, when we are coming to talk about the methodology mentioned in here, you have to mention your methodology in the first chapter, what you are writing, type of research, how much sample you taken, sampling method, what you taken, what data and collection tools you are used, like you are using Google Forms, questionnaire, whatever, and what analysis tools you are used. You have to mention. I used so and so research, so and so research type. I used, my sample size is this much. My sample method is this. I used so and so questionnaire for collecting my data, and these analysis tools I used to analyze my data. Like 1 or 2 lines, you need to write in a sentence formation. That is done. Now, what key findings you are finding? Suppose you have 2 objectives. Two objective related some findings, you are getting a results. About that, you write one or two lines in the key findings. Conclusion, suggestion, what you are writing, fifth chapter, that you have to write here one or two lines, conclusion, suggestion related sentence. Means this abstract, anybody is going to read your abstract, they need to understand your entire project. Somebody can ask a question like that, sir, firstly, we don't know all this, how we can write abstract? Don't write abstract first if you don't know anything. Write the abstract after you are filling the all five chapters data you are completed, then prepare the abstract. Then it's okay. Nobody is going to ask you first to do abstract, then do the project. Abstract is the nothing but your summarized gist of your entire project. So now when you are connected to this, how to write the keywords. After abstract, to downside of the abstract, we are writing keywords. Keywords, when you are writing, what to write in the keywords. Keywords should be written immediately after the abstract matter completed. Already I said. It should be left aligned like this. Here I mentioned in the downside of this slide. Keywords, example I mentioned. Here I mentioned some of the keywords of some abstract. Example abstract. Customer satisfaction, digital banking, user experience, service quality, like that. So what is the rules means? So write the, whenever you are writing keywords, it should be keywords heading should be in the bold. Left aligned, it should be bold and colon. Add 5 to 7 keywords. Here 5 to 7 which are using in your project, that terminologies, that words you have to mention here. Separated by using comma. And start each keyword with a capital letter. Each keyword is started here capital letter. No full stop, end of the here keywords. So this is related to keyword guidelines. So now abstract part is done. Now abstract, you need to understand entire project summary we are writing in abstract, and abstract ending, end of the abstract, after ending abstract you are writing keywords. Keywords writing, this is the rules regulations you have to follow. Here I mentioned some abstract template also. So after that also I can mention the keywords also. Like this, you have to write your abstract. The project title, so and so, aims to study, so and so, and understand this, so and so. Now here you need to write. Here I will show some of the abstract whatever we are going to write here. Just this is the one glance of you. Suppose you have a intro about your project, you have a research methodology, all this after getting, just in this you can just map into your project. Just you change according to your project inputs, abstract will be done. But abstract should be mentioned thoroughly, how you need to follow that guidelines you have to know. Anybody, you have to give your abstract to your friend has to tell total about your project, what it is. He can sense it and he can answer the questions about your project. That is the main theme of the abstract. So now let me know everybody, is it clear up till the abstract and keywords? Just text in the chat box so that I can move forward. Okay, very good. So now we are moving into next segmentation, that is we are talking about chapter 1. What to write in chapter 1? Chapter 1 is heading already you know, it is an introduction about your project or your project whatever you are going to do. The purpose main is set the context for the entire study. What to include generally in the broader way, I am giving here some bullet points. Background of the topic. Suppose you are taken digital banking. Now, what is the background for digital banking? Banks, when computerized, when it is computerized, digital banking, when what is the necessary, why it is came in the picture, like something related to that topic, some background of the topic, whichever you are doing project, you need to bring in into the your project in introduction chapter. After that, you need to write some importance of the topic in the industry. Suppose it is a banking industry, digital banking you are doing. In banking industry, what is the importance of digital banking? Or what is importance of your topic? Why much, suppose you are doing cyber crimes in the banking sector, how much importance is there to know the about cyber crimes or digital crimes or financial frauds? Like that, you need to enlight here importance background after writing immediately your topic importance in that industry. It may be banking industry, it may be financial industry. Your topic importance you need to write. Why this topic, whatever you are studying, that importance you have to bring into some about the information about the importance of your topic belongs to industry. Next, problem statement in simple words. Problem statement means indirectly you are going to tell them, I am studying this, I am going to find out this. This problem I am studying. This problem I am going to work in my project. This I need to identify in my project. That you need to tell. Suppose I said in India, cyber crimes more increasing more day by day. So my problem statement is my study is to know the pattern of cyber crimes in banking sector or digital banking frauds in banking sector. I want to study the pattern. With that, what happens? Decline trend is going on or increasing trend is going on, and what are the reasons for that? Like that, I can sense it something. That's why problem statement is nothing but you need to write what you are going to study. That is called a problem statement. Nothing but project is nothing but taking some problem, working on that problem, giving some sort of outcome, nothing but solution or project results. That is called a problem solution. So, why this study is being taken up? After problem statement, why you taken up this problem? There you need to give some justification. What? There are every day we are witnessing this type of problem here and there, and global issue this is going on about this topic, and everybody is suffering with these issues in this banking frauds. That's why I got motivation being a finance student. That's why I'm taken this topic to study this topic. Like, what is motivational factors to taking up this topic? You need to mention. So, introduction means you people are typing in the Google and getting pages, two pages together. I'm not saying that to bring 10 pages, bring 20 pages. If you are all these four, you are summarized in four, 2 pages, it's enough. 1 page, it's enough. 5 pages, it's enough. 10 pages, no problem. But it should be, you need to, whenever tomorrow you are going to presenting uh, PPT presentation, introduction should be there only 4 bullet points. That bullet points are nothing but background of my topic. You need to talk. Then second bullet point, importance of my topic in industry. You need to talk. Problem statement of what I am chosen. You need to talk your problem statement, which you are studying. Why this you chosen? You need to talk. This information only you keep in the document. That information only you talk in the presentation. Now then immediately you are getting clarity in this. That's why it is called set the context for the entire study. This is going to be the context for further study. Entire study we are explaining here. what is my topic, what industry, why importance, what problem, and why I am taken. These things you are clarifying the persons who are reading your present, you are reading your project or who are attending your presentation. You are making them clear. So in this slide, it is clear means just type here clear. I am expecting your messages here so that we move forward. Yes, very good. Wherever you are getting any doubts, which slide you are having doubt, you can just mention and write down, and end of the presentation you can ask. Now in the chapter 1 after intro, we have a chapter 1 objectives of this study. Clearly what to write for the objectives. 3 to 6 is the standard measurable objectives. If you keep 2 also okay, but a project, if it is not a PhD thesis, it is a minimum project should have 3 objectives. 3 objectives, measurable objectives. That's why we mentioned. So minimum you can choose 3 objectives which you want to study. The entire problem statement you break into 3 parts. So first objective, this one I will study, second this, third this. So entirely I want to study this. This I am breaking into 3 way. I am studying this is this is this. Like that you have to measurable. Measurable, why I am saying means don't take whatever you like, just like a chat GPT given objectives, don't write down. First you think this objective I am framing, how I can study this objective, how I collect the data for this, that data how I will analyze, and what results I will get. This objective, can I able to do the results, can I get the results, can I solve this objective? Like you can put 100 questions. If you are getting clarity, put that objective here. So you have to use only action words when you are starting with your objective. That should be to analyze, to evaluate, to study. So analyze this whenever you are using some data, you are having second some data base you have, you are studying the data, you are bringing some analysis, then you have to analyzing. To evaluating means that objective you are evaluating something, then you write to evaluate XYZ. To analyze XYZ. You are not doing anything, just you are studying the system, and then you are finding something after study, then you have to start with study. So that's why generally you need to understand your objective to start. What work you are doing in that objective, if you know, then you start with to analyze, to evaluate, to study, to compare, to discuss, like that. Whatever is going to be relevant for that, you use that. Example I mention here, to study customer satisfaction of XYZ bank. This is the objective. I am studying customer satisfaction of that XYZ bank. That XYZ bank customer satisfaction I am studying. I will give questionnaire, I will get the data through, I will understand if satisfied, which service is satisfied, if not satisfied, which service is not satisfied. Like that, I am going to give the results. Question is satisfaction, to study the customer satisfaction of this bank. So why these results? My study results will be helpful for XYZ bank. Why? Because where customers are happy, satisfied, which services they are not satisfied, this report helps them to improve. That's why don't think that my study is only for just for submitting a papers into the department or somewhere, that is not going to use it by anybody. No, that will be used by some people who are able to take your outcome as input. Second example I mentioned here, to identify factor influencing the purchase decision. Here we are Purchase decision means you are a customer, you are going to purchase some X item in some place. You are not purchasing Y item. So what purchasing influence, what factors influencing you to take that item? Why not X item? Why only Y item only? Why you are purchasing? What factors you are influencing? Maybe price factor, maybe attraction factor, maybe design, maybe product getting any extra 1+1 offer, whatever it may be. So now this is clearly here we are not written anything to analyze, evaluate, to study. We written here to identify the factors. Now we will get 100 factors. These factors influencing them purchase decision. So your study objective, which type, what to identify, like that you have to frame the objective. So minimum 3 objective you break down your study. That objective should be written in the form of using action verbs. That action verbs through you can frame the objective, which is already I said measurable objective. What is measurable objective? If you are unable to solve that objective, unable to get the data, unable to give the answer for that objective, if you are framing the objective, is waste of time. So here we done with the objectives clarity. Now tell me, is it clear? Means just type C. You type C, then I will move. Don't type entire sentence, no problem. You type C, I will go. Very good. So now we are moving into need of the study. Explaining why this research is important. Need means why this research is important. Research means you are working on a title, on a you are taking a title, you are working on a project that is called a research. So why this research is important? Again, I said, why you are working on this means there is a lot of day by day everybody victiming for the cyber crimes. That's why this research is important to get why it is happening, what are the reasons. So this is important. Why this research important means the topic study is why important that you need to write. Second, what gap exists in industry? This is the gap is nothing but when you are studying, why you are studying means already we said 20 research papers you type, then others are not studied, what you are going to study, that is called as a gap. If already some X person is studied in the same title, same objective, why again you are studying? Somebody will ask question. That's why you have to say what gap exists in industry means other people, there are more studies in this direction or this way, but what I am doing this way nobody is done. That is the gap that you need to mention in the need. First is important you have to mention. Second one you have to mention what is the gap. Your work is the gap. Your work is not done by others. That's why you are doing. That is called as a gap. Next, what motivated you to study this problem? So, for you, what motivated means by reading newspaper, by seeing the news, by you are witnessed some problem or you are faced some problem related to your topic. What is your motivational factor? Why you are chosen? Here you cannot say my guide is given or else my classmate is given. I searched in the Google, not this. To choose this topic, my motivational factors are this. That's why I am choosing this topic. That you need to relate it to your topic that you need to mention. Next, how organizations or student will benefit. Now you are working for a bank. Just now I said one XYZ bank customer service you are studying. How it is helping the bank? Your feedback is helping. Your study is helping them. What helping them? Where they are good, where they are not good. Based on that, they will improve. Where they are not good for customer service, they will improve. That's why last point what you have to write for any another students or organization, this your project report going to help whom, how it is going to help them, you need to mention lastly. Suppose it is related to cyber crimes knowledge. Now it is going to help every individual to know the cyber crimes, what way they are doing, how we can protect ourselves. You are finding in your project. That is help to everybody. There you can write, my study is going to help every person in the outside world to know the what are the cyber crimes problem, cyber crimes types, how we can protect from them. Maybe that is your study, then that is called as a benefit to the organization. Means suppose you are doing a banking project, that helps to the organization. You are doing a student benefit related project, that is going to help them student. Suppose you done a project, this project is going to say, if you study like this, that will give more marks in exam. That is a study. That study will help the students. In that you are mentioning how to study, how to plan your study, how it is helps to get the good mark. That may be your study. That will help the students. If bank, just now I said banking related study help the banking organization. Sometime all the people it will help. So that's why you have to need of the study, you have to mention clearly importance, gap, motivation, why you are chosen this and whom it is going to help your study. So this you need to mention there. Chalo, next type this C if it is clear. Only few members only typing means others are not mm, mm, there in actively here. So now coming to the next part that we are going to talk about scope of the study. So describe the boundaries. Scope means describing the boundaries. Example we said geographical scope. Suppose you are studying entire Telangana population you are taking, then you can write my study confined to only Hyderabad people. If you are taking data of Telangana total sample, then you can write my geographical scope, you can write my study taking the data collecting are my confined to entire Telangana state. This is scope. Other than Telangana participants, you are not taking. Other than Hyderabad participant, you are not. Suppose you are taking only Karimnagar district, then you can write my study confined to Karimnagar district or my study confined to Gatkesar Mandal. Like that, you need to write one point. Next is sample respondent. If you are taking only employees, then you have to mention that is your scope. Other than employees, you are not taking. In employees also, you are taking officer category. That is also your scope confined. If you are taking customers, then you have to write customers. If you are taking only vendors, then you are. So here sample respondent you are mentioning. Only students you are writing, which students you are writing. Only BTech students if you are writing, then it is scope. My sample respondent employees, government employees, scope. Only private employees, scope. Government and private employees, that scope. This you have to mention. It's indicated that I am not taking other than that people. I am taking only these people, only this place. This you need to remember. Next, you are going to talk about the time period. If you are taking the data for last 3 years, then you can write down my project, consider the data of last 5 years. My project period is only one semester or 3 months. And I am taken a data for only 5 years data I am taken. My project tenure is only 3 months or one semester. Like that you have to mention. Second is variables you covered, that is also scope. I am studying bank services to bank services. In bank services, I am not studying entire services, only ATM services, only online banking services I am studying. Other services I am not studying. The two are comes under category of scope of the study. Then I can write variables covered under my study. These only online services and ATM services only studied, not other services studied. It comes under the scope skill. So now you need to remember here, scope of the study, you need to mention only this. My study confined to only X place and X district or X state. My sample belongs to X category. That is also, if it is a only female, then you have to mention my sample respondents are only female gender. That is also in this age group. That is your scope. Period also I mentioned. Variables covered also I mentioned. So is it clear? Now you can, if it is clear, type clear. Or C, you can type C. It is easy, no? Okay, then we move to next. Now research methodology. Now you can see here, we are including in research methodology. First is research type, descriptive or analytical. Which type of research type you are doing, that you have to write, either descriptive or analytics. What it is, I am going to explain you next slide. Now you need to understand in your, whenever you are writing research methodology, you need to write clearly research type. I done descriptive research type. I done analytical research type. My study research type is analytical. Done. Data sources which you used. Like this, you have to keep data sources primary. Primary, how you conducted either survey or interviewing. Primary, nothing but you are going to collect the data you are personally. That how you collected, that is going to mention here. Survey with questionnaire, interview with a questionnaire. Whatever you done, that you have to mention. Secondary data, whatever you used, reports, journals, website, whichever genuinely you used, all this you have to mention. So data where you collected means primary I collected like this, secondary I collected like this. Whichever you done, that you have to mention. Template is up to this same. Here you have to write I have primary data. Here you write I am collected through the questionnaire. Secondary data, some people maybe use the website, some people maybe use company reports, journals, articles, all that they will mention here. Don't copy from others. What you used, you need to write here. Next, sampling method. You are used which sampling method? You are taking survey and you are collecting data. Which sample method you are used? Either random sample you are used, convenience sample you are used. What is this also I will explain in next slide. But you have to write either of this, not both. I am used random method means random method you have to justify why random method you are used. Next, sample size. Here, this is for mini study 100 to 150. Your study should be consist of 200 minimum. So that's why sample size is more, then your results will be, nobody will question about you. That's why minimum 200 you can mention, you can take sample size. Sample size is nothing but data collecting how many members. That. Now tools used in your research. Tools used means already we said you calculated percentage, mean and charts using SPSS, Excel, and you calculated chi-square test, correlation, regression, whatever you are using, graphical presentation or stats calculation, whatever you are using, that all you can mention under tools used. So here you can, in your study only two there, you can write only two. In your study charts, graphs are there, charts and graphs will be there. In your study you calculated chi-square test using Excel, then you can write chi-square test. Like that you can, whatever you are using that in the research methodology you have to mention. All the studies, everything will be must and should mention. Every project they should contain research type, they should contain primary, secondary. If primary only you are used up to this, secondary not using, it will not there. But compulsory you are taking introduction, all this you are taking from websites, Google, all this. Secondary data will be also will be there. And you are studying journals, 20 research paper, that is also secondary data. So compulsory every project, primary, secondary will be there. And sampling, then you have to mention either of these. Sample size, some person may be 196, some person may be 205, some person may be 208, don't make it everybody 200. It may be 5 less than 200, it may be 5 more than 200, it may be uh, 220, 210, 15, like that. Whatever you can mention it, because everybody 200 means that is clearly indication you are done, you are not collected genuinely data, you are manipulating. So after that, which tools is demanding for your data analysis, which charts are getting, that charts you can mention here. In the charts, graphs, you mention it. In that, if you are want to specifically you want to mention bar charts and pie charts. In SPSS, I said SPSS you are not using, you are using Excel. You write Excel. Remaining things you can remove from that. No need to mention all this. So is it clear? Research methodology, type C. Everyone need to type C. My voice is clear. Okay. Now I said research type is two types I said. One is descriptive, second one is analytical. Which type of study you need to mention there? First you understand descriptive. No need to go in depthly. I will shortcut way I mentioned some of the insights here. Descriptive is nothing but describing characteristics of population or a phenomenon. It should answer here now. What is happening? How much? How many? What do people think? Example, to represent the facts, opinion, current condition as they are. That's why you have to mention, when it is descriptive research, you have to mention in your study means when you are going to what is happening, how much it is happened, so how many things is happening, what to do people, what do people think, this type of questions you are going to answer, then it is comes under descriptive. That's why to present the fact, opinions and current conditions, then it is going to be the descriptive. That's why we said uses, surveys, questionnaires and observations. If you are using survey, questions and observations, and you are taking their opinions, all this comes under the descriptive. 99% your all studies comes under descriptive studies, not analytical. Descriptive study feature is called uses of survey, questionnaires and observations. That's why we mentioned a study on customer satisfaction towards digital banking services. Here you use measure and describe satisfaction levels. So anything you are collecting with the questionnaire through and observation through and quantifies opinions, attitude, behavior. This is all. You are not measuring any cause and effect relation. That's only you are taking opinions, their collected data. This is all you are using. That's why you are all going to your study research type is descriptive. That's why we said here research type you have to mention descriptive. Why you are descriptive you are taken means then you have to answer I am collecting data from the questionnaire through from the respondent. Now, what is analytical research? Already I said analytical means you are going to, that's why to examine the reasons, patterns, cause effect relations. If you do this type of work in your project, then you can write analytical research. That's why analytical research goes one step beyond the description. It analyzes the relation, it interconnections and cause behind the patterns. That's why we said here to examine the reasons. Suppose you said, if you got the first marks, why you got the first mark, we are examining. That is called reasons, sometimes patterns. Last year same time no sales are like this, so why that time sales are like that, patterns. So this is the cause and effect. This type of, if your study is describing, then you can say that research type is analytical, you can just mention it. Now, in the shortcut way, I need to explain, there is there clearly describe what is. Descriptive research means what is you are explaining it is. Why it is means analytical. That's why you need to understand here. Here we will use percentage charts mean this. Here we can use to understand correlation, regression, chi-square to know cause and effect relations. That's why relationships and reasons, fact and observations. So you are understanding fact and observations means that will comes under descriptive research. That's why customer satisfaction market survey. It is impact studies and factor analysis. How much impact is there? How much effect is there? So how much uh, when you do these things, how much impact is there? Like that, if you are studying this type of way, that you can mention in analytical. Don't think that your study all falls under descriptive research. When you know clearly, I am not doing anything, just I am using collecting the data. What it is I am going to studying. I am not studying why it is, what are the behind reasons, why is the relationship, all this it is not studying, then you can type. Or else your study you can just in the type into chat GPT, then it is asked which is the descriptive or analytical, it will tell you, then you can write which type. Now sampling methods, I said we are using two sampling method, random and one other one is convenience sample. So which type you need to mention in the first chapter. Random sampling is also called probability sampling. You need to understand only one thing. Random sampling means survey person is in the population has an equal chance of being selected. Means there is no bias. Sample represent the entire population. Example I mentioned here, selecting 50 customer by drawing the names from the box, using computer to pick up 500 employees from the list of 500. Here you need to understand customer data is available. Here 500 employee data is available. This is what we can say. Here confined data is there, you have to select from that only. You cannot go here and there. You cannot select whatever you like. Then this is called a random sampling method, means from the available or confined sample only you can select that persons. Suppose if it in your class 60 members is there, I am taking sample of 10 members. From that 60 I am selecting, then that sample is called a random sample. So that you need to remember. So net whenever large corporate employee studies, large corporate employees will be there. Market research is available, customer list, and academic research when sample frame is available. Sample frame means you need to understand sample already predefined sample number of persons, structured number of persons, confined list will be available with you. Example, I said your class 60 member. 60 member names are there with me. I am selecting 20 member sample from that. That type of selection is called random sample. Now we are going to talk convenience sample. Convenience sample means selecting respondent who are easily available. I am not selecting from your class 60 member. I am selecting whoever students comes in the campus, either maybe first year, second year, third year, whoever comes in front of me, I am giving Google form, I am taking the data. Is student, then I am taking data. I am not taking any selecting of any list or XYZ. Suppose you are taking sample from exactly one village. The village total 100 houses are there. From that 100 house, you are taking 20 houses sample. Then it is comes under category of random sample. When it is convenience sample means while you are going to your village, you are taking whoever comes the village people, all the members you are taking, not exactly from that village people. You are taking all the villagers, whoever may be, which village may be, you are taking whatever the people will come, you are selecting them. It is not a given list. You are taking from whatever comes in front of you, you are taking that sample, then that type of category is called convenience sample. Now you are sending to all your friends, whoever may be this college, another college, this section, another section, like that you are taking the data from all these people, then that is comes under convenience sample. That is not a random sample. So this is also you have to mention. That's why we said customer satisfaction surveys is comes under convenience sample. Employee opinion surveys. Now, market preference studies. Any project where sample frame is not available, where project frame not available, convenience sample you have to go. Project frame means predefined data is not available. If you go to our college HR, she will give college teachers list. From that you are selecting means that is frame. Frame is available. Suppose you go to Jodimetla, nobody will give teachers the data. Whoever a teacher comes, you are collecting the data. That may be which college you don't know, but he is a teacher. Now you are collecting. Then it is called a convenience sampling method. So up to this clear means just type C, everyone. So I think with this we are done with the uh, chapter 1, last but one topic. Now last one is limitations of this study. Now we are come to the limitations of this study. Already I said sampling frame means what. Now limitations of this study. So you need to write this limitation with the honest. Why we are saying don't biasly don't write. Everybody is having different constraints. That is called their limitation. Limited time. I have a 20 days project time. That is the limitation for your study. If it could be 6 months, you will do wonders in that project. You are limited only 30 days. That's why you done. You are thinking that that is one of the constraints for me. Limited sample size. You are not taking 500 sample size. Whoever available, you are taking 195 sample size. So I'm not taking a thousands of sample size. That is maybe your limitations of your study. A respondent bias. I given the Google form, they may filled correctly or not, they are the right person or not. There may be some bias. That is also your constraint. That is also your limitation. Respondent may be, I am expecting some respondent can be give bias information. That is my constraint. You can write that also. So access to data restrictions. Sometime what happens, secondary data banks people are not giving some data, respondent is not filling. So this type of, if you are facing any constraint, that also you write in the limitations. And geographical area, that also you can mention. My study is only taken the limited area, only taken Gatkesar. I am not taken entire Hyderabad. I am not taken entire places of so and so Telangana. that is also your constraint. That is also your limitation. So limitation you can mention related to sample size, related to respondent, any bias maybe chance are there means you mention, and your limited time for the project tenure, and send any restrictions or any data getting, that is also you write. Geographical area, if you face any trouble to go to collect the data, limited geographical area only you able to cover, you are not able to cover entire area which you suppose Gatkesar Mandal mean there is a big place, but you are not covered entire Mandal, you covered some places in the Mandal. So that is your limitation, that is your constraint that you have to mention here. That's why somebody is saying the limitations of this study means don't read out whatever chat GPT is given. Really, if you connect with the topic, what constraint is there, that one or two, 3 points you write. Sir, when I am doing my project, these are my constraints. These are my problems I face. These are limitations are there. That's why I'm quoting these things in my presentation, like you can mention it. So like that you can proceed the further. So up to this clear means second, third, fourth chapters are easy. We can move easily one slide. So now everybody can give your clearance. We will go to next. Okay, shall we move to next chapter? That is the, so is it chapter 2 visible to everyone? Just a text here. Yes, why? You can type why here. Okay, good. Now, review of literature already we said what to include here. You need to summary of 10 to 20 research paper. We recommended you 20 research paper summary. Summary means that paper abstract itself is going to give you summary. Already we said abstract will contain entire thing about that paper. So that's why the abstract, if you read, that abstract will going to give you summary of that paper. So all 20 or 15, some may say that, sir, I am not getting 20. Can I 15 is okay. I am mentioning maximum I said 20. Minimum you can make it 15. 15 to 20 between. You try to search papers. Then you can, I mentioned here where to search also. You can use Google Scholar. There you can type your topic related papers. Then papers will be, you will get a PDF papers, free download papers, like you can type, you will get the, these resources you can use to get the papers. Now what to include means summary. Summary where to get each paper, abstract will be there. That abstract is your summary of that paper. Now what previous author studied. So this summary, that's why we said review of literature, you will get summary. In that summary, you will know what that author studied and what tools they used, what is their finding, what gap you identified in that literature. So this review of literature, why you are studying means to understand two things. Tomorrow you are giving presentation also, you have to mention in this slide or data 15 research articles related to my study I gone through. In that, all the authors studied these areas. but they are not studied my area. That's why that gap is identified by studying review of literature. That's why I'm choosing this topic. Like this, you have to connect. That's why we said gap identified in literature. These 15 research papers, why you are studying, 20, why you are studying means these people, 15 people, what they studied, what they not studied, that I am identified, I am taken that topic which is not covered by these 15 members or 20 research papers who written. So that you need to get remember. Now I think it is clear about the research literature. Clear means type C, fast. Everybody need to act fast. Only Sharanya is typing C. Others are sleeping, I think so. Very good. Bhavana. Shravani Reddy. Meghana. Okay, very good. Charishma. Yashwant Reddy. Very good. Now what happened? 14 members are there here. So now moving into third chapter. Industry profile. Industry profile, what to mention means you are bringing entire Google data and dumping here. Don't do that. Write only brief description about industry. If it is a banking industry, take a brief about the banking industry. If retail industry, bring the retail brief description about retail industry. If the pharma industry, bring brief description about the pharma industry. Means pharma industry brief description is what pharma industry, what it is happening, what it is going on, either it is moving upward or downward or constant. Like that, a brief description, briefly you have to say about that industry. You're doing a banking related study, give the brief description about the banking industry. That description should be, you can be write in 1 page, you can write in 2 page, whatever it may be. Somebody is reading about that thing, they need to understand about that industry. Just like a overview, just like a gist. Don't dump as it is. You are getting a 10 pages of industry profile. Don't bring. You need to make it a gist of that industry. Next, you can mention about the industry. What is the size of that industry, growth rate of that industry, market trends of that industry. After the brief description, then you can focus on size, growth rate, market trend about that industry. That industry, what is the size, what is the growth rate, what is the market trend about that industry. You can make one more paragraph. There you can focus on this. This is very important points. Next, recent development in that industry. What happened in that industry recently? What are the new innovations, new development in that industry? Then you can, that also you mention in another paragraph. Next, major players in that industry. Suppose you're banking, you're taking. Who is the major players? Who is the top players in that banking industry? You can name few names. Why they are in the top position? Either what motivated them in the top position, you can mention. Tomorrow you are giving presentation, industry profile means just don't dump everything there. You keep these bullet points, you have to explain your own description about the industry, brief about the industry. Sir, banking industry, I want to explain banking industry is like this on today's situation. And banking industry size is this much, growth rate is this much, market trend is like this. Recent development in banking are this. Major players in banking industry right now are these persons. Like this, whatever you are keeping in document, that you can keep your bullet points, you can explain. That is going to final way of completing your industry profile. Now type C, we can move to next slide. Very good. Next, we will go to company profile. They are not asked it, but now I am going to say, suppose some of the person is doing project related to SBI Bank. Only SBI Bank, if they are doing, they need to write both. banking industry profile as well as company profile. Then they can mention chapter 3 company and industry profile they have to mention. If they are studying SBI related study, they are not studying generalized subject of banking industry. They are studying only SBI related study. Then they need to write a company profile they have to write, and they have to write for the industry profile. Industry profile, what to include, I explained. Now I'm some members company profile is not there. They are not studying particular company. Then no need to write this. Some member targeting, suppose banking, generally banking related, they are studying only industry profile enough. Some members studying in banking, ICICI Bank regarding they are studying, then they need to write company profile of ICICI. Now in that what they have to mention history about the company. So now first they have to mention half of the paragraph or one page or half page, what is that company history. Next, what is the vision, mission, values of that. Everything available in their website, or else you can search somewhere. You need to write what is their vision, mission, values. Next, what they are dealing with, what product and services they are dealing with. Next, what is their organizational structure? Means like CEO, director, board of director, like what is hierarchy, organizational structure, CEO after director, like that. What structure is there that you can mention? Who is the competitors for them? Suppose they are the competitors, XYZ companies, then you can write for this company, they're the close competitors are these members, you can mention. What is this company market position right now? It is a 10th position or 100th position. Some achievement. What are their company achievement? Recently, what they achieved, like that you have to mention. So this is the a perfect company profile, brief and short way to introduce a company profile to the outside world. Is it clear? Clear means type C. Fast. Very good. Now we come for the interpretation chapter. Now we are data analysis and interpretation. Now, what to present? There may be, you're collecting data, there may be a tables, there may be a graphs, the analysis of each question in the questionnaire, statistical tools, and interpretation in simple English. This is all in the data analysis, which is going to be relevant matter. Irrelevant you not to mention, relevant tables, relevant graphs, and each question you are collecting the data through questionnaire. Each question how you analyze it using statistical tools or whatever, that should be conveyed in simple and beautiful manner. You have to mention in the data analysis. Here only your entire work remaining all just Google it, get the data, or website through it, get the data, arranging in a neat way of remaining all the chapter. This chapter is itself saying you need to get it relevant to data and keep here. Example we mentioned here. 60% of respondent performing digital banking because it is saves time. 60% of respondents prefer the digital banking. Now, this is the result we got in the questionnaire through. This is the way you need to interpret the interpretation. That should be your table should speak 60%, your graph should be speak 60%, then your interpretation should write 60%. Then it is a meaningful. You are finding this 60% by calculating percentages. Like this, everything should be connected to your interpretation. Your interpretation talking something, your table talking something, your graph is talking something, your calculation is something. This is mismatching means then again the question will come. So already I mentioned in the previous project time, table heading, table source, graph heading, graph source. That should be mandatory for the all the graphs, all the tables. You need to mention if you are calculated, computed using primary data. If it is primary source, I am mentioning. If it is a secondary data, I am computed using secondary data. If you calculated, source should be computed by you. If it is some X website you are taken, take that website URL, paste there. If you are taken Y place, that Y place source you can mention here. So that will be their data analysis and interpretation. Coming to the finding, summarize answers for each objective is called finding. Already so many times I explained to you, findings is nothing but you are going to summarizing answers for each objective. Objective 1, what answers you got, that you need to mention it. That's why we said major patterns, key results from the data, what customers employees said, like that. Objective 1, what you finding, that findings are called first objective results, first objective answers, second objective results, second objective answers, third objective results, third objective answers. Like that, you are not writing here in finding. So objective 1 results, objective 2 results, objective 3 results, you are not mentioning like that. But finding should, while you are explaining, you have to say, from my first objective, this first three findings are from my first objective. I got these results. I got these answers. This is my findings of first objective. These are my findings of second objective. These are my findings of third objective. Like that, you need to write the findings. Finding should be directly linked to your objective results, objective answers. Suggestions. Write practical recommendations. Don't write whatever you like in suggestions. If you are giving suggestion, improve customer service. Suppose your results are saying poor customer service of that bank. Your results are you are getting in findings. Then you can give suggestion, improve customer service. Suppose you got a waiting time is more in ATM. Then you can write a suggestion, reduce waiting time in ATM to get the money. This is your suggestion. Results what you are getting, that related recommendation or suggestion you have to write. Don't write whatever you like. If there is two suggestions, write two only. If three suggestions, three only. Five suggestions, five only. Where system is not working properly, their suggestion should be given. If system is perfectly, there is no need to give any suggestion. You got the positive results, no suggestion. You got the negative results or poor results or something is not good, there you can write to improve this, to reduce this. Like that you can mention. By example, I mentioned here some of the recommendations or suggestions how to give based on the study. Now we come the conclusion. Now conclusion what we will give, total summary of your project. Main outcome of this study. What is entirely the topic what you taken, what outcome you got. That you have to mention. Then after whether objectives were achieved or not. My objectives, I am finding the answers for my objective. My objectives are whatever objective I kept for my study that are achieved. That you have to mention what you done. Next, final message to the management means company owner. If you are doing any project too for any company, suppose you are taking SBI. Now we are recommending SBI management to maintain this, to give the customer service should be improved like that. Or industry person, banking industry person, you can write message. This study I finding these problems are there, so they can focus on this to improve the customer safety, security, like that. Whatever results comes, you have to. That's why first is main outcome, what is your study. Then your objective related, you have to talk. Finally, your message about the study for the parties who are going to related to your study. Then you need to mention it. Now we are coming to annexure. Annexer, already we said annexer means what to include means questionnaire is there, you have to include in questionnaire. And interview questions, so this is if you are not using, no need. Extra tables, if any data you are using, that data you are using in a data analysis, the data tables you can mention annexer to that so and so sales data. Questionnaire, annexer 1 questionnaire, primary data collected from respondent. Any supporting document, anything you are using for your data analysis, that data, whichever the data you are using for data analysis, that all will be mentioned in annexers. Now last part is bibliography. Bibliography, you need to use proper citation format that is acceptable APR MLA style. How, what it is, you can just type in the Google APA style reference means it will give you. That way you can write the references. All that 15 papers you need to write in the reference in the APA style or MLA style. Any one style you have to follow. How to write this style means it will give example, that way you can write. So you can write including, after this you can include textbooks, how to mention in APA style, it will give you. Journals, how to mention in APA style, it will give format. Website, how to write APA style, it will give. Company reports, how to write in a APA style, it will give. So earlier you are writing only textbook name, author name, that only you will write, but using of this APA style. Any of this style you have to follow, not both. APA style, how to write textbooks. That will give example. That way you can write your textbook. APA style, how to write journals. Journals means all your 15 papers you have to write in that manner. Websites, you are used 5 websites. How to write in APA style. That will mention. That way you can write. So like this, you can write your bibliography also in the standard structure. Nothing to do with that. So here we are going to conclude. So now I will open to you all. Any discussion point is there?